Hey everyone, Carl Brown here again. Today we're going to talk a little bit about rolling technique on the guitar. I had a viewer ask for a video on this just a short while ago, so I thought I'd get to it. So here we go. I get this little side view image that you can see here, a little bit different than what we've usually been using, just so I can kind of introduce the concept here. When you're doing a roll on the guitar, basically what it is when we have two notes that we have to play back to back that are on the same fret, and it doesn't really make sense to jump over with a different finger to finger it. Like, say if you want to play the 3rd fret on the 6th string and then on the 5th, instead of using 2 fingers and still having your other fingers available to do other things, we use a technique called rolling, which entails you playing the 6th string with like the tip of your finger, and then you kind of collapse the middle joint, this tip joint of your finger. And when you do that, you roll over to the next string. You see, you kind of collapse. But there's a couple of things that you need to think about when you're trying rolling. One is you can only hear one string ring at a time. So how we accomplish that is you have your initial first finger on its tip, and when you go to the next string down to roll to that note, you're going to kind of collapse the joint of the first finger, just the tip, just kind of smush it down a little bit lightly, and you'll notice now that the tip of my first finger is touching the 6th string and muting out the 6th string. So only note you hear is the 5th string note. If I didn't do it right, like if I rolled and didn't come all the way off that 6th string, it'll sound like this, and the 2 notes would ring together. When we want to separate them, so we start with a roll and just come straight over here, and you'll see that the 6th string is muted. And when you want to go, rolls don't always go to a higher pitch string, they'll go to lower pitch strings too. So whenever you want to do what's called a reverse roll, where so you want to go from the 5th string to the 6th string, you basically need to go ahead and be set up with the collapsed fingertip already. So you're set up where you were when you rolled to that note. So even if this was going to be the first time you wanted to play and then go to the 6th string, you have to set up with your finger kind of smushed up against the fret there, and then you come back onto your tip of your finger. And when you do that, it'll roll over onto the 6th string. And we also have the added benefit of now the bottom of the first finger is muting the 5th string. So that's separating the notes. So we have on the tip, collapse, come to the 5th string, and then we have the 6th string muted now, and then reverse that, pick the 5th string, raise back up onto the tip, arc the joint again, you basically arc the little tip joint again, and the bottom fleshy part of your finger will mute that 5th string now. A good little exercise to maybe do is to try to hit both strings with a pick. And so right now you can hear just the 6th string, but I'm going to pick both the 5th and 6th though. And then when I go over to the 5th string, you can hear that. I'm hitting that muted string, but that shows you that string is muted, that 6th string is muted. And then you can come back down to the 6th. Sorry, don't hit more than 2 strings. And I get that muted string right there. But you can hear me hit, but it's muted. So it's a good way of making sure you got your muting right. And just, after you get the hang of it, the movement might be a little bit exaggerated at first. But you'll notice the people who are really good at it, every style of music uses this, but it's really prevalent in jazz and stuff where they have all these, they do more intervallic playing which means you kind of skip, or you're not always playing straight up and down through the scale. So they would use this technique a lot. Now you also want to be able to do it with all the other fingers. So you're going to want to be able to take it with the 2nd finger and try to keep the other fingers in line, just nice and easy. But it's the same process. You're just collapsing that top joint every time. You can do it on other strings. Okay, and you also want to work on that, that reverse roll and stuff. So you can work on this. Pentatonic scales are really good to work on this kind of thing with, because a lot of the notes are, I'm going to kind of go into the straight ahead so you can see this. A lot of the notes are straight on, like, or are in adjacent frets. So let's start with this shape. The pentatonic scales are obviously available at guitarlessons365.com. In the intermediate scale section, just go there and download it and you'll see these forms. This right here is the form that we called form built off the fifth. All right. Now, what we're going to do two pentatonic shapes, so you'll be able to do rolls with all your fingers. We're going to start with this one, which is going to start with that note on the third fret on the sixth string, and it goes to the note on the fifth string, third fret, and then the same thing with the pinky at the fifth fret. So we're basically playing the first note in the pentatonic scale on that string to the first note in the pentatonic scale on the fifth string, and then the same thing with the pinky. Now, this right here doesn't require a roll, so we're fine with that. And then we have a roll with the pinky again. This is just going through the shape built off the fifth. And then we have a roll with your first finger, the second fret on the fourth to the second fret on the third. Then the same thing, fourth and third string with the pinky at the fifth fret. We don't have to do a roll here, it's 2 and 3. We do have to do a roll, the fifth fret here, from third to second string. And then back to the second finger roll at the third fret on the second to first string. And then fifth fret. And then reverse that. Pick the top note and reverse everything we just did. Then you're going to want to go up to the shape built off the shape built off the sixth. This is the common A minor shape. And this will let you do a lot of rolling with your third and first finger. So we have the first roll from 5 to 5 on the sixth string and fifth string. Then 8 to 7. If you follow the forms, it's very easy to see what I'm doing here following the shapes. We have 5 to 5, 7 to 7. Get to use our third finger there. Same thing on those strings. Here we don't have to do a roll, it's just 7 and 8. And then the last one, you're going to use your first finger roll, and then the pinky roll. And then reverse that. All right? And you can do different things. So, I did all going up, like ascending rolls, and then descending rolls coming down, but you can do stuff like this. You can do a roll going up, and then go to the next note up on that fifth string there that we just rolled to that fifth string. Pick that note and then roll back down. Obviously, we didn't have to do a roll there, but say when we get over to the fifth string, say we rolled from the fifth to the fourth, then stay on the fourth, do the pre-roll position, which is your collapsed joint. Pick that note and roll back down to the fifth. So we have this: ascending roll, reverse roll. So you can try things like that just to kind of mix it up. Don't try to get it too fast. Just keep it clean. It's good to practice this with clean and distortion, because you can really hear the noise when you do distortion, and then the clean, you can really tell that you're hitting all the notes correctly, and you don't have a bunch of things to cover it up. All right, so please go to guitarlessons365.com, support the site, help me keep this going, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.